I'm live. I got it. Just wanted to make sure. Okay, so do we have everyone here so far? Has everyone walked around, got food, drinks, modding Sam, stream, perfect. Okay, so hi, we're going to get started just because there's a lot to get through. And I want to try to make sure I get through to everything. And if you need to watch the replay, you're more than welcome to. So I'm Chris. I am a certified tarot reader, and I use more of my tarot cards to help people with writer's block. You are here at Authortube in 2025. So welcome, and let's talk about how you can plot. The name of the presentation is Tarot Plotting, How to Write Your Story in Layers and Not Drafts. So let's see. We've got, hello, your internet was rude. Had to refresh the page. Hello, Chris. I envy your tarot card collection. Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot going on back here. And we're actually going to get into that later today, actually. We're actually going to get into that. So we're going to go, these are some of the basics that we're going to go through right now. We've got some tarot basics. I'm going to show you one card, an example of how I read all of the thing. I'm all for the charmed word. Yep, there you go. The 3-card example, I'm going to close, and then we're going to have a Q&A. So, tarot basics. We have the tarot cards it's a deck of cards very similar to playing cards that you usually play with. There's a little bit more. The playing cards have 54 cards, I believe. I think it's 52 without the jokers. And tarot decks have 78. So there's a little bit more. There's a major arcana part of the tarot that is the big lessons of life, but we'll get into that in a little bit. And then also there is the heart. Sorry, it's a little hot in my apartment right now, so I'm just a little kind of like hot. Cups, pentacles, swords, and wands, which is very similar to your hearts, spades, clubs, and diamonds. So something like that. 52 without jokers is correct. Yes, I did it right. You used tarot to build characters, plot the book, and pull chapters card when I wrote cards on the table about tarot card enthusiasts who talked about a stereo. Wow, you know exactly what you're doing. So the history a little bit of the tarot is that it actually started in around the 1400s. We believe it started in Italy. We're not entirely sure who was the first originator, but it actually started out as a game called tarocchi. And it's something very similar to like hearts or spades, where the major arcana cards are more like the trump cards, where it's like tricks, where you take you lay all the cards down and like you take a trick. I don't exactly know how all of that works because I don't really play those very often, but that's something to keep in mind. And then actually in around the 1700s is when it started to kind of change into psychics, a little bit change into divination, which is more of what you're used to hearing about these days. Let's see. I'm going over my notes here. Just wanted to make sure I'm catching everything because there's a lot. Okay, so contrary to what you might have heard, tarot is not a closed practice. I highly encourage you to go out and buy your own tarot deck. It's great if someone does buy you one for you, but the issue that runs in with that is if their sense of art is different than your sense of art, you may not connect to the tarot deck that it was gifted to you. So I am going to highly recommend that you are able to go out and buy your own tarot deck. You can do it online. I recommend going to a small store, a small little metaphysical magical store, because they actually have decks that you can thumb through, and you can actually see feel the cards and see each of the individual cards that you can visualize and see how they feel like in your hands. Let's see. Sorry, I'm just going over my notes here. Okay, so along those lines of choosing your own tarot deck, I would highly recommend. So this is how I approach tarot with writing. Let's spin this to go closer to writing, since that's where we're all here for. I personally like to theme my tarot decks. I don't have a generalized tarot deck where the art is pretty. I mean, I do, but I think they're all pretty. but there's a method to my madness. So if you're writing a vampire story, I highly recommend getting a vampire deck. If you are writing a werewolf, well, there is no werewolf deck. I'm actually working on that. If you're writing a mermaid story, find a mermaid deck or a deck that feels more under the sea-ish. If you are writing how do I say this? What else do I have? If you are writing a Disney, there's a Disney villains. If you are having a cat character, I have a cat decks. If you're writing a Christmas, there are Christmas and Yuletide themed decks. Those are the kind of the decks that I would do. I would highly recommend not doing a tarot deck that is like the Supernatural tarot deck or the Stranger Things tarot deck or Buffy or any of those novelty decks. I think they're fun to have for your collection, but if you're going to use them for your world building, that world has already been created. That world, we want to try to stay away from that world as much as possible so that you can spin it and make it your own. Use it for inspiration, sure, but we want that let's try to use a different tarot deck so that we can tap into our own intuition, with our own thoughts of what we have based on that world that we like so much. So that's just my own recommendation. You can do that with what you will, but do whatever it inspires you. I would highly recommend not using, like the Nightmare Before Christmas theme. I just wouldn't necessarily do something that I would find a deck that mostly matches the world that you are trying to create. That's how I would recommend that. So let's see. I've got this lower numbers. Okay, so something I do want to say is that I do not consider myself a psychic, at least not yet. I consider myself an intuitive, and I use my cards for self-help, and I use my cards to connect with Gus. It's a short term for what I heard recently, for God, the universe, or spirit, whatever you want to call it. I just like to call him Gus. And so that's how I use my cards. I kind of feel like our worlds that we're creating come from source, divine, God, universe, creativity, spirit, whatever you want to call it. We're just kind of the vessels of that creativity. And that's where the tarot can come in to help us bring into that kind of a thing. I am moving a lot quicker than I thought I was going to be moving. So let's see. Okay. We're going to go over some shuffling techniques. Now, shuffling, the blanket term is you can shuffle however you want. You can shuffle, I had another deck these other decks that are in front of me are already prepared for what we have to discuss. You can shuffle like this. You can shuffle with the rainbow like this as they go flying everywhere. You probably didn't even see that. I guess you can do the rainbow like, when people do like that. You can do whatever you want. You can lay them out on the floor and just kind of wish them around. You can do whatever you want. There is no hard and fast rule with shuffling. You can practice and do whatever you want with that. Just throwing that out there. Okay, so let's define a spread. So a spread is when you're pulling tarot cards, you can lay them out in a specific order, a specific way, a specific shape, and that shape can help you bring up what you're trying to look for in what you're asking the tarot or what you're creating, like a character or an arc or whatever you're trying to do. You can start with one card, or you can use all 78, or you could even use all 78 cards from multiple different tarot decks. It just depends on what you're trying to look for. I would recommend starting with the lower amount of number possible, only because the tarot is a lot more layered, like we were discussing with the title of our presentation today. It's a lot more layered than it's just write a story with a man and a woman falling in love. Like there's a lot of different symbologies. There's a lot of different numbers, colors, a lot of things that you can use in order to put into your story in order to bring it to life and make it more even 5-dimensional, if you want to call it that direction. I am going to take up, since I'm actually moving a little bit quicker than I thought I was going to be moving. How are we doing right now? Am I moving really fast? Are people still with me? Sorry, I'm a little hot. It kind of makes me a little agitated sometimes. So I just wanted to make sure, how are we doing? I'm not seeing any comments. So I think I'm just going to keep going. We're with you. You're doing great. Cool. Doing fine. Awesome. Great. Cool. Okay. So let's pull. I'm going to show you one card. And this is kind of going back to what we were discussing. Yes, I have water. I have a water. I have water. Okay. Completely separate from my reading decks. Yeah, I agree with that. Your creativity decks are completely separate from reading decks. I agree with that. I actually have a TV series tarot deck. I have not used it for actual divination or readings yet. I like it for the aspect of it. I'm a TV person. I like the aspect of it. That's kind of a novelty deck, but I actually might start using it in the next month. I do daily tarot reads, and I might start using it just to kind of get more connected with TV and how I used to like it. But that's a completely different subject. So I want to give you a one card example. We're gonna go back a little bit we're gonna rewind and go back to how to choose a tarot deck. And how I mean by images give you different things to look at. So I'm going to give you, this is the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith. This is the Radiant Rider-Waite. This is the Three of Cups. This is what is traditionally seen. I'm actually on TikTok as well. This, if you're writing a mermaid story, is not really going to help you. There are no mermaids here. There's nothing under the sea. The meanings can still be the same, but the images are not going to help you write your story. Because we also have Three of Cups here. This is the Dark Mansion Tarot deck. I prefer to use if I was going to write a Tim Burton story, this is the deck I would use. If you look at their necks are really long. They're really skinny. They feel like they can be a stop motion character. But if you look at these, yeah, they're kind of in the same realm of what they are, or like the same picture, but they're completely different feels. This one's Victorian. This one's older, like really older. So there's a lot of different things that you can get from this. This one has a man in it. This one does not. So you can get a lot of different things from different tarot decks. Now, like I mentioned earlier, I'm going to give this away. This is a mermaid deck. So see how this compared to this will actually give you, if you are writing a mermaid story, if you're writing a vampire story, if you're writing something, the characters on this card will give you so much more in-depth sight and in-depth layers of what you're actually doing with your story than this card. So that's just what I'm wanting to do with that and showing you that. Now, I think I have sent, let's see. Yeah, so now would be a good time for Rachel and Kat to, first of all, thank you, Rachel and Kat, for moderating this this presentation. You didn't realize before stream, but I can't share the link on tuition. Oh no, can I do that? Can I put it on here? Engage with my audience, start a poll, close. Nope, darn it. Okay, this is what I want you to do. For anybody who is on this chat right now, I have a prompt sheet that is about 35 different prompts about how to read a tarot card. Apparently, we cannot share a link. We cannot share a document. I thought we could. Let's all, I should have put it just on my website, using decks that thematically match your subject matter genre. So you prefer using, but decks can be expensive. So, okay. So yes, I prefer using decks that are thematically match your subject matter or genre. Decks can be expensive, so what would I suggest? You can download it, put it to your drive, and possibly share it that way. Sure, Kat, give it a try. Let's see what happens. I mean, decks can be expensive. Let's blanket that. Let's give that a little bit of attention at this point in time. Decks can be expensive. I've bought all of these. Each of these are at least $30, maybe $25. Sometimes one of them is at least $80. It's a lot, but roughly around 30 times 75. That's how much I have really spent on my practice, my where I want to go with my tarot stuff. So yes, decks can be expensive. I would recommend you still using that money to better your artistry. And the reason why I say that is because you can also, because it's a tool for your writing and not a hobby, you can actually use it as a write-off for yourself, for your taxes if you need to. But I would say fork it out. Use the money. You think of it more as an investment in your writing and your creativity and your intuition, versus just this is how expensive something is. Does that make sense, Rachel? Hi, Natalie. You can share a document via a Google Doc. Okay. Oh, hi. Hi, Kaufman. Saved it to your drive, made a new version, but here it is at least for you to look. Okay, cool. Awesome. So this is what I want to do. I am going to pull one card. Let's just, just for practice, we're going to use the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith. Just to let you guys know, or see at least a card. And I'm just going to pull a card. And we're going to go through that worksheet just for a few minutes. So we have the 7 of Wands. I'm trying to show TikTok here just a little bit. So we have the 7 of Wands here. My hair. The 7. So let's go to that sheet. If everyone can download that sheet, you can't share the specific one you sent, but at least so people can see it. Yep. Okay, cool. Need something that gives access to everyone. Yeah. I hope everyone can get access to that Google sheet. I hope everyone can. Let's go into mine. Done. I want to do this one. So I have on this sheet, and if you actually want to send me an email and say, hey, I didn't get the worksheet, or you want the sheet, send me an email after this is done, and I will send you the sheet for free. If you can't see this Google Doc that's trying to be shared right now, send me an email and I will send it to you for free. Like, no questions asked. So on this sheet, I have a list of 34 different prompts that you can use to read this card. Now, so how do we start this? It's a lot. So you don't have to use all 34. When you're reading a card, you don't have to use all 34 of them. Not everything is going to come through. Not everything is going to be obvious. Now, what's going to happen too is not everything in tarot is going to be the same or come up at the first sight. Sometimes you need to let a tarot reading marinate, to let it formulate in your brain, let your creativity play with it. And then later, when you are showering, probably doing something like that you're not thinking about, 2 things will click and you will start seeing new things in that card. So just because you're looking at it the first time, sometimes you need to let it marinate. Sometimes the message does not come through. So that's just something to keep in mind. So with this 7 of Wands, we're not even going to look at the meaning of the card right now. What we're going to look at is when we pulled it, when did we pull it? Were we relaxed? Were we triggered? Is it hot? Is it cold? Right now it's freaking hot. Right now I've just got lights on me and it's just hot. Summer. Were you in public, or were you alone? Do you have another insight on it? Then you can say, is it reversed? This one was not. You got, who do you see? Let's go who, what, when, where, why, how. Who is this? Is this your main character? Is this a side character? It depends on who you were pulling for at the very beginning. You can't, in the TikTok can't see this, but this is the card. So who is this? What are they doing? How did they get there? why are they fighting? That kind of, why do they look like they're fighting? Like that kind of a thing. So you can go who, what, when, where, why, and how. So that's 6. That's 6 ways. 6 ways. That's sign language. 6 ways to read a tarot card already. And that's just already out of the bag. Then we can go into, let's see. How did this, let's see, that was the how. Sorry, I'm just kind of reading off all this. What story is the card related to? What do you see? What do you hear? What do you hear going on in here? Do you hear a crowd? Do you hear the sticks banging together? So what do you hear? What do you taste? Can you taste the air? It looks kind of to me like he's standing on some mountains, but it feels very mountainy to me. Can you feel like the crisp air around him? Is it clean air? Let's see. What can you physically feel in the card? Can you physically feel him holding or him or anybody holding the sticks? Can you physically feel what kind of wood it is? Can you physically feel the splinter that you might get if you run your hand across it? Can you physically feel the clothes that he's wearing? Can you, what cloth is that? Is that cotton? That's itchy. Right? Wait, right? Cotton? I think just plain cotton's itchy. Okay. I mean, it's at least going to give a start. Again, I've said that if you needed to, you can always do multiple. You can always email me and have the worksheet as well. What do you feel emotionally in this card? What do you feel emotionally? Are you scared? Are you scared for this guy because he's got all these people coming after him? Or maybe even are all these people his followers? Like, is he being a leader to them? What is that? What do you feel? Is it exciting? Is it scary? Is it nerve-wracking? You can do numbers. We have the number 7. Number 7. We have 7 here. 7 wands, because it's the 7 of wands. Then we also have, what I found interesting, I never noticed this before until like a couple of years ago. Someone pointed this out. He's wearing 2 different shoes. One's a boot and one's like a shoe. Did he lose a shoe? Like you can use that in your story about how did he lose a shoe or how did he change shoes, using that as a plot point if you want to. We're going into what's he doing? Where did he go? What was happening right before? What's going to happen after? If this is a war scene, if this is him leading people into war, is he going to be successful? Where are they going? What's going on with that? If is he going to jump off that cliff going backward? Like, is he going to escape? So there's a lot of different ways. What's going to happen after? The location and the setting. I've got mountains here. I feel like it's a mountain, clear in this clear skies, obviously. That's kind of what I'm getting from that. Let's see, what time of day? It's daytime. It looks very much so like noon-ish, or at least like bright colored sun kind of a thing. It's not very, it's not dark. It's not raining. It's not, so it's very bright and colorful. The name of the card, 7 of Wands. Let's see. What does this card mean to you? It also just is going to depend on what you're asking the tarot for your story, what your story is about. It depends on if your story is about conflict. Is it about an escaped felon? Is it about someone who is leading people into war? Is it about someone who is standing up for what they believe in and all these other people are fighting against them? What is your story about? And and you can use the card and how to use the prompts to connect the card to whatever it is that you are to whatever it is that you're writing. What I also find interesting about this is that just because, let's just say someone's writing a law or a lawyer story, another person could be writing a lawyer story, ask the exact same question, and get the exact same card and get 3 or 4 different answers, because each individual's writing voice is different. Each writer has a different voice. So you are more than welcome. You are like, if you pull the same card, I guarantee you it's going to be a very different experience for you yourself as the reader, or I'm sorry, you yourself as the writer and you yourself as the reader. So I just kind of just because your own personal experience is going to change how you write your story. So just don't forget that. Let's see. The different shoes as a metaphor. How did he lose something? Job, relationship. How does it change him? That's true. See, that could be something. I kind of sped through some of these, but we've got the name of the card. What does it mean to my creative project? What's the meaning of the card? So now we're going to get into the meaning. The traditional meaning of this card is actually that he is standing up for what he believes in. The traditional meaning is that wands is connected to fire, the element of fire, and the element of fire is our creative energies, our passions, and our aspirations. So with the wands, in the tarot, from aces to 10 is a cycle. 7 is reaching the end of that cycle. Now, when you are reaching the end of that cycle, there does seem to be a little bit of new conflict because we've passed the 5. 5s are all about conflict. 5 is kind of a new conflict. So this is him standing up for what he believes in. This is him being a lonely voice. This is usually a crowd of people that are coming against him to tell him that he's wrong or something of that nature. But he needs to stand up by himself and be taller than them or stronger than them to prove to himself that who he is, kind of a thing. So that's just the meaning of the card in general. That's a generalized meaning. And even if you pulled the 7 of Cups, it's the 7 of Wands in this deck, 7 of Wands in this deck, 7 of Wands in this deck, it's all going to be the same thing. It's all roughly, it's all the same thing. All the cards have the same meaning, but each of the different visuals will give you a different feel for what you're doing for your story. Then I actually have like different insights. What extra insights do you have? You can also do, what story is this? Is this your A story, your B story, your C story? Is this your main character? Is this your sidekick character? Is this your mentor character? You can just go, you can do all these different connectability things with one card and just kind of see where that takes you. Now I'm going to back up one more time before we do one quick exercise. I want to show you just 3 different decks. We're going to go into that. I'm going to go back to the how different decks can give you different feels. So these are 3 different vampire decks. These are all the Judgment cards. Judgment, to me, is about a second chance. It is the point in the story where you decide if you're going to take the lesson that you've learned throughout the major arcana and you are going to take it and go into a new cycle, a new lesson, or you're going to ignore it. All of these are the Judgment card. All of these have different images. This one's a little bit, oops, sorry, I'm mirrored. This one's a little bit more romantic. This one's a little bit more, or this one's a little bit more bloody. And this one's just a little bit more gothic. So these are all vampire decks, all of them. So it just kind of, again, it just kind of depends on what kind of a story you're telling and what images you're connected to for your story. So with all of that being said, we're going to do a quick exercise all together. Okay. A little bit more gothic one is one that I got it. Yeah. This one. Yeah. Yeah. So let's go into our own, let's all do our own little exercise and experience what it's like to do, to create a story from tarot. Now, this doesn't have to be connected to your story that you're currently writing on if you don't want to. It can totally be a brand new one, or you can try to connect it to the one that you want, that you have. I want to try to use, how would everyone feel like if I'm going to use this one, the Dark Mansion one. For some reason, I really like it. I like them. I like the Dark Mansion, and I think it's kind of fun, and I think it's just different than using just the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith. So let's all do this little exercise for now. Let's see what comes up. What I'm going to do, let's do a breathing exercise, and then I'm going to lead you through. I'm going to pull 3 cards. First card will be Act 1. First card will be Act 2. Third card will be Act 3. Act 1, Act 2, Act 3, and we're just going to tell the story in the card. Now, using prompts, I'm going to guide you through a couple of different prompts, since we couldn't get the actual sheet to work unless you got it there. but I'm going to give you a couple of different things just to kind of give you some basics to pull you through, and then just weave them together. Don't worry, this is a first draft. First drafts are not great. First drafts are not the prettiest things to share. So just have fun with it. Just be open to what Gus has to tell you and see where it takes you. I'm going to take a drink really fast before we get started. And I'm also turning on a fan because it's a little hot. Let me know if it's loud. I turned it low, but it's kind of hot and I'm mirrored and I'm messing up my hair. Okay, so let's do a breathing exercise. So breathe in. Oh wait, okay. Let's not breathe in. Sorry. Let's calm down. Let's calm down. Now, let's breathe in for 5 counts, hold for 5 counts, breathe out for 5 counts, and hold for 5 counts. We're going to do that 3 times. So breathe in, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe out, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And breathe and hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe in, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe out, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And hold, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Last time, breathe in, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And hold, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe out, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And hold, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we should be a little bit more like grounded, partly because I was hot and I was kind of getting flustered. Let's use the Dark Mansion Tarot deck. And I'm going to, so right now while I'm shuffling, get out a piece of paper or your laptop or get out a document, and you're just going to write Act 1 of a story. Just Act 1. Now, when you're looking at this card, what I want you to pay attention to is what do you see, hear, feel, taste, smell, any numbers, any colors, any symbols. When you're paying attention to also what you feel, what do you feel physically? What do you feel emotionally? Again, we've kind of gone through a couple of different prompts about what do you feel in the card, what clothing they're wearing, that kind of a thing. So let's just, but keep it, you can keep it basic. I'm going to give you guys a minute, but let's keep it a little basic. Just what do you use your 6 senses? What do you see, hear, feel, taste, and smell? And then just add the colors, numbers, and go from there. And anything else that you get in the card, and then just write it. Write Act 1. Write it. What's happening in Act 1? So I got the 10 of Pentacles in reverse. I didn't really go over this. In reverse, why don't we flip it? In reverse, a reverse card is blocked, delayed, healing, or internal energy. But not a lot of people read with reversed card, or not a lot. Some people decide not to read with reversed cards. So let's flip this over and just keep it. This is Act 1. What do you see, hear, feel, taste, smell, feel physically, feel emotionally? A prompt that might come up is, where did this money come from? I'll give this to TikTok if anybody's with us. What colors do you see? Are there any other numbers, hidden numbers? Who is this family in Act 1? How did they get their money in Act 1? Are they nice, rich people? Are they not nice, rich people? Did they steal it? I'm going to be quiet. I'm going to let you guys keep going. I think I let it pass a little bit longer than a minute, but we're going to let it go for another couple of seconds. Okay, so that is Act 1. Let's pull Act 2. Where are you going to take this family? Where's this family going to go? What's the problem they're going to deal? What's the middle of their story? Where is it going to go? What are they looking for? What are they going after? Let's see what the tarot is going to guide you and see what comes up. I'm going to just shuffle 3 times just to kind of give it a really good shuffle. Okay. So this one I did come up with reversed. But this is the strength. I'm going to flip it over just for the sake of the exercise. But this is the strength card. Especially in Act 1, right? Could go either way. Yep. So this is the strength card. We have a woman next to a lion. And she seems pretty calm. So again, what do you see? What do you hear? What do you feel physically? What do you feel emotionally? Taste, smell, numbers, colors, symbols. We've gone through actions. We've mentioned environment. We've mentioned daytime versus nighttime. We've mentioned clothes. Is the middle of the story this? What is this woman doing to the family? Who is she? What does she want from the family? Again, it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to make sense. This is a 15-minute exercise. It's not going to be published unless you decide you really get inspired by it. Just connect the dots where you can. I'm going to be quiet. Let you guys go. All right, I'm going to shuffle for Act 3 now. Finish up what your thoughts are. What's going on with the family, with this woman? What does the lion mean to the family? Is the lion her pet? Is she going to use the lion to off them? Is she a zookeeper? I don't know. Something to think about. But let's see how this story ends. Let's see where it takes us. What's the twist? What's the ending? Is it the ending for the family? Does the family survive? Do they lose all of their money? Let's see what happens. What is up with all these cards coming up in reverse? So we're just going to, again, flip this over. The Queen of Swords. Again, this is the ending. This is the end. What do you see? What do you hear? What do you feel physically? Feel emotionally? What do you smell? What do you taste? Any colors? Any hidden numbers? See, there you go. Rachel says she just came up with an anthology submission. That's it. That's all this is. So we're going to give it another 15 seconds, and then we're going to close out, and that'll be the end of this exercise. Okay, so I didn't give you the meanings of the cards. I'm going to give you the meanings of them now so that you can use them in your story if you want to. Again, you don't have to, but if you want to. The 10 of Pentacles is a completion card. It's the end of a cycle. This is ultimate money. This is stability. This is generational. This sometimes means inheritance. Something's come to a close. It means you're stable, going further. Maybe really good money journey coming to an end. What I would recommend looking at whenever 10s come up, I tell people that there's a new cycle coming. So with this new money, or with this money that you have, what is going to be your new cycle? Are you going to spend the money on charity? Are you going to help the money? Are you going to still continue to make money with it? When the ace comes up, aces are the beginning of a new cycle. So with the 10 being the end and an ace right around the corner, what are you going to do with this wealth? For a side note, when a 10 comes up in reverse for me, like it did for this, but I flipped it over just for this exercise, I feel like it is the querent meaning the person asking the question, blocking an ending. They're not accepting an ending. It's, again, blocked, delayed, healing, or internal energy. So that's just kind of what I'm getting from that. So that's the meaning of the card. Pentacles are associated with the element of earth. Earth is associated with our health, our body, and our money, the physical things that we can touch, this physical realm. So that is what the 10 of Pentacles means. The Strength card is a Major Arcana card. The Major Arcana cards are the bigger lessons of life. They're just as important as everything else, but these have a little bit more weight to them. I'm going to pull out this other thing as well. I'm going to give you a little bit of astrology here, because each of these cards also has astrology associated with them. I am not a very good astrologer, but I'm going to give you a little bit. So the Strength card can just mean simply what it means, strength. I personally like to think of it as us connecting to our animal instincts. She's obviously made good friends or the trust of the king of the jungle. So she's laying on him. He doesn't, it looks like he's kind of in pain a little bit, but he's not attacking her. So it's very animalistic. It's very humans and nature coming together, using our strengths to come together, kind of a thing. To me, I feel like the Strength card is us getting more used to our animal sides, our shadow selves, the parts of ourselves that are more animalistic, and getting more comfortable with who that is and being more authentic of who we are. So that's just kind of what I get from that. That's how I read the card. Now, if you want to look at strength in general, you can look at the sun, the planet. Well, the sun is not a planet, but the star, the sun, and Leo. The Strength card is also associated with the element of fire, just like the wands earlier. And fire is associated with our creative passions and our energies and our aspirations. Use that in your story if you want to. Go for it that way. Lastly, we have the Queen of Swords. Now, I like to think of the Queen of Swords as Lorelai Gilmore from Gilmore Girls. I know that she's very witty. She's talkative. She likes to speak her mind. She speaks to her mind with a feminine attitude, with femininity. Swords are also very pointy. Swords are our words. Swords hurt. Words hurt. What I like to think of this, so there's a King of Wands and there's a King of Swords and a Queen of Swords. The Queen of Swords, because she's more feminine, I feel like she is able to give bad news better. I feel like she can be a little bit more softer when it comes to giving bad news. If you got the King of Wands, it's a little bit more masculine. It's a little bit more hurtful, but she can still hurt, but she can give it to you a little bit softer. Swords is associated with the element of air. Air is our thoughts and our communication. If she came up reversed, like she did, but I flipped it over for this exercise, it would have been blocked. I probably would have think she's a little bit blocked, delayed, healing, internal. Maybe it depends on what you asked the tarot, what character you're looking for, that kind of a thing. But I would think that she's probably not as feminine. Maybe she's just a little bit, she's not as open about what she's thinking, that kind of a stuff, that kind of things. I'm going to put that as a stopping point really fast. I just want to see, how are we all doing? Are we good? Did you like the exercise? We're still not done with the exercise, but I want to check in. How did everyone do? Did you get the Act 1, Act 2, Act 3? I want to just make sure. Are we good? Cool. We got a thumbs up. Perfect. Okay. What I would like to do before we close it out, I guess we don't really have time for it. That's kind of upsetting. I was going to try to see if we could share, if anyone wanted to share, but I don't think that we have necessarily time for that since we want to do a Q&A. Let's go back to my outline here. We did that. Okay. So to close out this, why don't we do another breathing exercise just to close out and come back to our real lives, what our presentation is versus being in this exercise. So everyone put your pencils down and let's do that same breathing exercise at the beginning. And we're going to breathe in, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I like to make my life more of a ritual. It creates more of a flow. Before you start a writing session, if you are going to use tarot, do a breathing exercise to invite more of what Gus has to tell you about your project. Pull the cards, write whatever you want, do all that kind of stuff. And then when you're done, before you leave the coffee shop, before you leave to go off to work, before you leave to go pick up the kids from school or whatever, do that same breathing exercise so that you leave the creativity where the creativity is, and then go off into your real world. Create a little bit more of a ritual with you. Make it a little bit more ritualistic and to create more of a flow kind of a thing. So in closing, we have covered, you learned a little bit about the history of the tarot, a little bit you've experienced some divination, a little bit, not a lot. It's more like writer's block stuff, but still there was some, it's divination. We learned how to choose a deck that's mostly aligned with our project. We learned how to read a tarot card intuitively. We learned a simple tarot spread, Act 1, Act 2, and Act 3, a 3-card tarot spread. We experienced how to read tarot cards, and we also had a good time doing it. At least I hope so. I know that I was a little flustered because it's a little hot in my apartment right now. Summer has officially started, and my air conditioner, it's loud. So I'm sorry if I was a little flustered. I just wanted to throw that out there. I am going to remind you all as well that the Authortube has giveaways. I have given away a free session, a free 1-hour session of writer's block. I've given away a package that I recently created called Current, which is like a current of water. It's 6 tarot spreads that you can win, and I can just send you 6 tarot spreads to help you with your project. It's all via PDF though. And I've also made a new package called Creative Seas, where it's a 1 month kind of collaboration or workshop with you and me. I'm not really collaborating. It's just more of a bouncing off. It's a flow state, helping you create a flow state. So like a 1 month co-working with me. I think with that, I've got one more thing I want to do, but I want to make sure that we have Q&A. I want to, before I give all that away, before I do my last thing that I want to do, I want to make sure we get into the Q&A. Does anybody have any questions for me? Does anybody have anything that I didn't cover? I guess one thing, what I could cover, we covered pentacles, we covered fire, we covered swords. Water is the cups cards, the cups suit in the tarot, and cups is associated with our emotions, and it's also associated with water. So that helps. That's the other suit and element with that, because we also had a major arcana card, so that helped. But is there any questions that anybody has? Do I use this method for specific projects or with all projects? So I use this method whenever I am stuck on a project, and it just helps me get my project going. Now, what I mentioned earlier about sometimes a tarot card reading does not make sense at when you're first initially doing it. I usually have a general idea of what story I want to tell, but when I get to a point to where I'm just like, I have no idea where to take this, I don't know what to do, I can pull 3 cards. I have actually a binder of 30 different spreads right there. I also have other spreads from like this book. I have spreads from this book. So I've created a collection of spreads. So if I'm looking to create a character, I can always pull cards to create a character. If I'm looking to find a plot point, I can change that. I can, again, Act 1, Act 2, Act 3. I have an opening scene. It just kind of depends on what I'm looking for. But I use this when I'm absolutely stuck on what I need to do. My writing actually comes more from the TV writing world. I'm more of a script writer, and I'm transitioning a little bit into author realm. So I kind of have this big, grandiose world idea that I need to do. So I'm not just writing one book story. I'm actually writing 12 individual stories to complete one book, if that makes sense, or one season, quote unquote. Yeah, there is an option. Now, there is an exercise that I'm even going to be trying for myself with my writing with this, is that I actually want to, a lot of readers ask writers, where do ideas come from? Where did you get that idea? I actually want to create a series, and I'm not sure exactly how this is going to go, but this is something that's recently come to my thoughts in the last month or so. I would like to be the vessel of what Gus wants me to tell. Like I said, I come from the TV writing world. I have these worlds I've created. I usually take worlds and I flip them and play with them that way, and then just kind of pull cards when I am stuck. But I would like to create a world specifically from tarot, pulling a card and saying, what is the story in this card? And then gradually building off of what the tarot says, not any of my previous ideas, nothing that I've created prior, just literally just being the vessel for what the tarot wants me to tell. The story that Gus wants me to tell. I want to create something like that and just not have any cares or be open to whatever Gus wants me to tell. I said that 4 or 5 times, but that's just kind of, I want to create that exercise. I think that would be kind of a fun exercise to do, not only as a writer, but also as a tarot reader. Do I use Oracle decks as well, or just tarot cards? Let's see. I like the idea for when I'm stuck. Okay, yeah. I don't really use Oracle decks. I'm a structured person. I like to have structure, and Oracle decks to me are very unstructured. It kind of depends on what the author wants to say. It depends on what the author wants to theme it as. They can be 36 cards. They can be 22 cards. They can be 48 cards. Like they just all different ways. Now, with that being said, I do have kind of Oracle decks. This is a Greek mythology reading card. It's not a tarot deck. It's literally just cards with the names of the Greek gods on them. kind of a thing. And so what I would do with an oracle card, like let's say I am writing a Greek mythology story and I pull out Aphrodite. Let's not pull out Aphrodite because I don't know if YouTube's going to get mad at me for that image. Let's pull out Artemis. This is Artemis. I don't know much about Greek mythology. I know that she has something to do with, like archery and like war or something. But if I wanted to, I have a character spread. I would put this card on the front, make this kind of like the signifier card, and then pull all the character cards. What does she eat? What does she do for a job? What is she wearing? What's her age? All that kind of stuff, and just kind of pull those cards and associate them with Artemis and see if she's going to be a modern day Artemis, if she's going to be a Greek mythology Artemis. Like, it just kind of depends on what I would do with that. But that's how I would use this. I also have Egyptian gods, Titans, and another Greek god. So that's kind of how I would use oracle decks. There are some oracles that you can use. Like, I do have kind of a prompt oracle deck where it's like car or job or vegetable. That's kind of fun to pull when you need like an extra, like, what are they having for dinner? Pull a vegetable. What are they having for what are they drinking right now? Water. Like, it just kind of like it's very basic. I think it's the story oracle. I mean, it's one of them. The story oracle is one. Creative writing inspiration deck. They've got a picture of a pretzel on the back, a lion. So just kind of some things are just kind of, sometimes an oracle deck does help. I mostly use tarot though. Any other questions? Any other questions at all for me? We're getting ready to wrap up a little bit. It can be. Yeah, I have 2 minutes. If I'm writing a Greek mythology story, like I've mentioned earlier, if I'm writing something Greek-ish, I would use the Greek mythology, things like that. But if I'm writing, like with another oracle decks, it just kind of, sometimes they're just happy. What am I supposed to do with the happy card? It just doesn't, sometimes it's sad, sometimes it's inspirational. It's just like, what am I supposed to do with that? And I have not incorporated that into my practice. That doesn't mean that you can't. And when you do find a way, reach out and let me know. Because I would like it might be fun to learn that. Astrology is something you can use as well. Okay, that might be something to try, Rachel. You could always pull those cards to say, what is my character dreaming? What is my character dreaming about? That might be something to use an oracle deck for. But that's just kind of, it's not necessarily the story aspect. It's more of like the minute things. We can also do, what is my character dreaming about? Maybe they're dreaming about a lion. What's my character dreaming about? Maybe they're dreaming about a sword or a queen. So it just kind of depends on what you want to do with it. But I don't really use oracle decks in my stuff. So I think we are at a close. We did a Q&A. I am going to do this. We have 9 people on here. I am going to close this out on, have to move on to the, yep. Okay, so if you are on this now, I would like to send you Duncan, a Gay Teenage Witch episode 1 for free. If you are on this and you can send this to, send me an email, Sunday night, June 29th, I will send you Duncan, a Gay Teenage Witch for free. With that, it's the one book that I've written so far. But with that, enjoy the rest of the convention, the conference, and I will see you guys in the next one or on the prizes. Thank you for having me, Authortube. I'm going to end the stream and